We breaking walls down, the legacy is a new season. We crossing lines now, but you know we ain't causing no treasons. We on a new wave, dropping jewels in the man cave. She like the game, so we ran plays. She held it down in the dog days.
Welcome to Man Cave with Southside Dre. I am ridiculously excited. We are starting off our season 2, and this time, this season, we are turning the volume, the heat up. We have 2 amazing guests today. I want to start by saying happy International Women's History is what that's
something
what it
like
is.
that. International Women's Day.
International
Is it the month? Or
Women's Month. See, yeah, the
I think it was a
confusion
day.
starts.
I don't know.
All right, so our guest in house today, we're gonna start with. She's a mother. She's an entrepreneur. She has her own chefing, catering business called A Familiar Taste, which was inspired by her grandma. And I'm gonna say grandma because when we're talking about cooking, that's how we gotta say it. Please, guys, welcome Asia White. How you doing?
I am good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. And next to Miss Asia White, there's another distinguished guest. She's all over the place, and as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and plug this, because this is going to explain this guest. This is her book, The Church Can Go to Hell.
He couldn't even get it out.
The Church Can Go to Hell.
Straight.
So we know this is going to be crazy.
Just a little bit.
We have entrepreneur, mother, newly married, right? New wife.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On all of that.
On all of the above.
Yeah. So
yes.
where can they find your book? Where can they find your book?
Amazon, anywhere you get your books. So I believe you could order it from Walmart, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get them online.
Awesome.
Primarily Amazon, though, preferably, just because we have a relationship with them.
Awesome. Guys, we have in the building Miss December Rose.
How y'all doing?
Please go get this book.
Yeah, go get it.
How's everything been going?
It's been going.
How did y'all feel when y'all got the invite? When I said you coming on the Man Cave, what did you feel?
Honored, I guess.
Honored.
Because I did watch a few of your shows.
A
So.
few.
Mm,
I'm glad you did. You did.
I was surprised.
Really?
Surprised. Yeah.
Why were you
'Cause
surprised?
I know you don't have many women guests on your show that I know of. The only one I know is Big O.
False.
Is that false? You have
False.
all the time?
This show is created for women.
Okay, I thought it was created for men.
See?
Okay.
No, seriously though, this show was literally created to bridge men and women.
Bridge
but
the gap.
More
Okay.
so, I want the conversation to be. It's like a man cave where women are invited.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And
All right.
and speaking on that, I seen a flyer the other day from the church folk. Speaking of the church,
Oh,
and they having a man cave convention
a whole
Oh,
convention.
wow.
right here,
Yes.
and it literally says something about. Did you see that?
I saw it. I saw your comment on it. I wasn't invited.
Right.
They're not going to invite you.
Like, why not?
They're not going to invite her.
Oh, no, me, I'm talking me.
They sure what the heck ain't going to invite me. Girl. I'm telling them they can go to hell, but
The first thing I thought was "Thou shalt not steal."
oh Lord.
Did y'all see it? Because see, here's the thing. It's not about the proprietary piece of man area anybody can use. But for me, it was more so like, it's really like for women. It's like the concept is literally in the, whatever. I just thought I'd throw it in. So, I don't even know if let's get into it. Traditional versus modern men. So, let's define that. We got to define that because there's been a lot of conversation, as we all know, about traditional men versus modern men, right? So, Asia, what would be your definition of a traditional man?
A traditional man would be, the one that goes to work, bring home the bacon, provides, protects, leads.
Okay.
That's a traditional man.
Traditional man. Traditional man.
I'm in the same vein with her. I think the traditional men is exactly what she said. provides, protects, covers, leads, creates a vision for his family, that his family doesn't want for anything, that
Right.
they're covered in every kind of way. That's a traditional man to me.
Right. So, modern men, are they one and the same still, or has it changed? has it changed some?
Modern men, for me, are the ones that let's go Dutch. That's a modern man. Because where did that come from? I never heard my granddaddy say that.
Right.
So that would be a modern man.
Got you.
It has changed quite a bit, not just from I think when we compare traditional to modern, we usually default to finances.
Yeah.
But I think it's changed in every kind of way, from the finances to the mentality to the mindset to the vision. A lot of men don't have forward-looking and forward-thinking vision for themselves or their households. And so I think the whole let's go Dutch thing comes from a deeper place.
Right.
Whereas I'm just going to do just enough.
Right.
Just enough, and the men before us, going back 2 or 3, 4 generations, they did not have the luxury of doing just enough because there was so much oppression. They always had to go over the top.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just different.
So, as you say that, right, it sounds like an adjustment was made at some point over time, right, between traditional men, modern men, traditional women, modern women, right? Where do you think that started, or how did it happen? You know what I mean? Like, for example, in my opinion, there was a shift, right? And ultimately, and I'm going to give a high level of this, and then you guys can speak on it, because I want to hear, and the audience wants to hear from you guys about it. But high level, when there was a shift that created this atmosphere where women were now the hunters or hybrids, right? They got out, worked, made a living, contributed to the household in ways that men traditionally would, right? Do you guys think that came from a lack from men? Were men leaving the household? Did it have to do with drugs, the crack epidemic? Like you said, when you mentioned oppression, that's a big motivator for guys to have you don't have any choice but to get out and move. What I'm more concerned about, even from the high level, is once the pivot started happening and women took on these roles, are women, are they reluctant now to relinquish that role?
Hell yeah.
Say it.
I don't know what
Say it.
I think so. What you think?
Say it.
I'm listening.
No.
You gotta talk. You can't just
Are you
listen.
reluctant to relinquish that role? Because think about it. Over time, women have come out, and now you guys, you have really, you're getting really good jobs, or entrepreneurs, business owners like yourselves. You're doing the things that were traditionally things that men did mostly. So now, with men, if men were coming into your lives, how reluctant are you to relinquish? Because here's how I look at it. If a woman is aspiring to become all of these things, entrepreneur, business owner, she has to pour into herself for that, right?
Right.
So it's a little bit different from pouring. It's hard to pour into everybody, right? So it's hard to pour into your man that same energy that you're literally pouring into yourself when you're out here conquering in that way. I think that can be pretty exhausting. So how easy is it to relinquish that if it comes? Like, do women? I know women that I'm sure do not want to relinquish that power. I've seen it.
Yeah, look, I was totally honest when I said, hell yeah. So, for a couple reasons. There's a couple different kind of women. There's women who they're not even interested in having a relationship with a man. I'm not saying they're in the LGBTQ category.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that it's not their focus.
Right.
So we're in a different area where in the 60s, late 60s, 70s, as a woman, I couldn't even get a credit card in my name. I couldn't get a house. I couldn't get a loan. I couldn't get a bank account. I could barely get a job. And so our relationships with men were more necessity than desire.
Right.
And as we have continued to progress in society, the desire is outweighing the necessity.
Yeah.
And so that means I have to like your ass. You just can't come up to me and tell me I'm going to give you a house or something. I'd be like, okay, I ain't got no choice. I got to go with this fool. You know what I'm saying? I actually got to like you, which means you have to put in work.
Right.
And you have to, provide. It has to be more that it's not a survival. I'm not with you for survival anymore.
Because you got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
And so that's the wrestle. There's that woman. And then there's the other one who wants to. I'm that woman who wants to. This is a woman over here, I'm all about my career. That's it. I ain't trying to see what you're talking about. Every once in a while, you could be my sneaky link. I call you over when I'm trying to get my oil change, whatever, and we could do what we do, and you go on what you do, and I'm going to pursue these Benjamins. I'm going to secure the bag.
Right.
There's that one. And then there's the one that, yes, they have the career. Yes, they're educated, but they want a family. They want children, and they do want to be covered. But she's struggling, too, for other reasons, and that's because she has relinquished the crown and then she has landed on her face because she trusted a man to cover her and he didn't.
Right.
And so he didn't provide, he didn't pay the bills, he wasn't faithful. So I lent you my spirit, my soul, my heart, my mind, and my house, and you burnt it to the ground.
Right.
But you want to be called a king. So now I'm wrestling my crown back from you, and you can't. It's hard for you to get it back from me.
I think in that situation, she made that was a little too much. She was a little too open to give because I think it comes in steps. You can fortify a person or vet the same way I did you guys before the show. You know what I mean? I do my research. I figure out what I need to figure out and whether or not what makes a good guest. Which honestly is tough. The toughest part of this is finding really good guests, you know what I mean? But sidebar, Asia, so what she's saying, when you've been on the dating scene, do you think that you or women are taking this time to really vet these guys to figure out, are they going to make, a good leader? Even it comes down, I said this in another show, it comes down to, you need to really vet a person's background. And what I mean by that is their upbringing. Like for somebody like myself, You was I marriage material at 25? Hell no. Like, I've never even seen a good marriage. So how could I be? I never witnessed it. I don't even know. I just think I've heard about it. So I'm thinking it's just unicorn or this magic thing in the sky. That's like, this is something that I'm supposed to do someday. But nobody ever told me, nobody ever schooled me, pulled me to the side, talked to me about any of those things. So this is something I had to develop on my own. And that takes time. As far as men go, that takes time to develop that. But on to something a little different, Sierra Russell Wilson. Have you guys seen the Sierra outfit recently? I don't know, it was an awards or something, right? Mm-hmm. Did you guys see the outfit?
Yes.
I'd like to hear how you feel about it.
I mean,
no, please. Like
for me, I feel like because pretty much she was my era coming up.
Facts.
So that's the music that I listen to. I've never seen her dressed like that. Although she dated and had a baby by Future, but we also never seen Future really act out until these kids started coming. So he started showing off. So I've never seen Sierra dressed like that. So I'm like, okay, so you wait till you get a husband to want to put on nothing. You didn't even have to get him that way. She was the baggy jeans, maybe a crop top, my goodies, not my goodies, so why now? And he's not even that type of guy. He's more so of a church-going guy. Right.
Yeah.
So
he ain't that type of
threw me
He
off.
don't seem like that type of guy.
Not at all. And then I guess just hearing from the guys, 'cause I'm not a football girl. Mm-hmm. Oh, since he got with Sierra, he been fumbling. So I'm just
game
like,
is trash. His game is trash.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
No, I'm a football guy. His game, trash.
Right. So something is off with that whole entire
Chose
thing.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about chose wrong in his game. What do you say for the ones that are single and their game is trash? So that blows the logic on that. But
wait.
As far as his game,
stay there. The ones who are single, he wasn't trash. He became trash.
No,
so
I'm saying, what do you say for the ones who've had a trajectory similar to his, but they're not married? So they started off great and they dropped off.
I can't name one.
There are. What do you mean you can't?
Ho,
name one?
not in this part of his career. Like if somebody falls off, it's usually for old age, skill. But and his descent was like he went from Seattle Seahawks, really good quarterback, to Denver Broncos.
Did he not win at least one Super Bowl while they were married?
No.
No.
Okay.
He's trust me on this. Just if you pull stats you want to, it's really nuclear.
Look, I'm actually a Seahawks fan. I'm from Washington State.
Right, and he was good there.
He was. I thought he was doing great in Seattle.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, okay, we can leave that where it's at.
Now he's in Denver, with his wife and his kids, and that's cool. And I think, she even has a song. Have y'all heard the leaked song? Something about independent.
I like a snippet of it.
Something
I
like
haven't
that.
really listened to it.
Like if you listen to the song, it's like the thing. It almost, back to your point. It's like, okay, what did she do? Did she do this look for attention, which celebrities do, right? You know what I mean? If they hit the red carpet, they want to be remembered. Rihanna, for example, at the Super Bowl, she hinted at the pregnancy thing. You know what I mean? They do things for that.
Yeah.
So I get it for that reason. And me, personally, I have no problem with Sierra dressing like that. It's not my wife.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think two things about it. I don't like that look for her.
Okay.
I'm with Asia. I don't remember her being out here in these streets. Like that's giving me more like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And that hairstyle was like Tyler Perry on the Grace.
Exactly.
I didn't appreciate that bob or whatever that was. I didn't appreciate it very much. But she's a beautiful woman. She has had 3 babies. Her body is phenomenal. I wish I've only had 2 and I can't even.
That's a fact.
I wish I could put on something that showed my whole entire body.
Yeah.
The devil's a lie. It's just, I'm built for comfort, not for speed. This is just for my husband, honey. But
Exactly.
I wish. She's beautiful. She's amazing.
Absolutely.
She's gorgeous. And to anyone out there, they're the only one that got to deal with them.
They do.
He saw his wife before she left the house.
He did. And that's why I said.
So, everybody, we could all have something to say, but he saw that woman before they walked out the door. They stepped on the red carpet together.
And he looked miserable, though.
He did.
When they did like he
But
did.
he looked like he didn't know. Like, do y'all really think that these people really know what they're going to wear before they
Yes.
go to these events?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They
first
be
of all, they're
planning
probably,
months out.
they're probably at a hotel, right? Because they're probably not where they live.
Right.
So they're probably at a hotel getting ready for this award
And
show.
they'd be planning
And
weeks and months out.
She knew what she was wearing. He had to know at least before they left.
At least.
But
They
what
done
can you
came
do?
together.
Now, what can you do now, though?
Right.
Like,
I don't
that's
know.
what you wearing, baby? If he didn't know before then, once he's seen that, he like,
Let's
You
just
sure
go
you
with
wanna
it.
wear that?
We're here now.
here I am,
Right.
Russell Wilson. I'm Russell Wilson, the
We're here now.
big Christian quarterback and religious quarterback or whatever he is. And that's okay. Well, here we are.
She's beautiful.
She
but
is.
that was not a beautiful look to me.
Not for her.
That was a thirsty look to me. That wasn't beautiful.
I expected Cardi
She's
B
beautiful,
to
but
do
that
that
wasn't.
because that's what she does.
Cardi.
Right.
We don't.
She was way more covered.
Or
way
even
more
Megan,
covered
because that was your whole
Right.
everything.
Way
You
more
didn't leave
covered.
nothing to the imagination. That net wasn't blocking nothing.
at all.
Wasn't no Holy Ghost in that net.
So
Wasn't no Jesus in it nowhere, sis.
I thought it was beautiful.
I bet you
personally.
did. Of
course you
I
did.
mean, I look back at that. Hey, a couple times it was like, okay, I see,
Okay.
I see you. See. All right, so Rihanna. I mentioned Rihanna. Had you guys seen the Rihanna and the ASAP? I think it was a cover. Was it Vogue? That
Oh,
cover.
yeah, I
I
seen
talked
that.
about it a little bit. Did you guys see that?
I did.
When you saw that cover, what was the first thing you thought, if anything?
She the head of household.
Okay. She's the head of household. And I mean, ultimately, she kind of financially,
see
he can't even.
anything.
Yeah, financially, he can't. Financially,
He can't see
Oh, I mean,
it.
I don't know his. I didn't even look into it, but
Right.
just that's
But-
that's where I went when I
right?
seen it.
Instantly, that's what you. Yeah. What about you? What did you see?
Definitely leading lady,
Mm.
I would say. Leading lady. I wouldn't say that they necessarily tried to put him beneath her or anything like that, but it definitely, they put her out front on purpose.
You think so? You think it was on purpose?
I mean, well, it was her photo shoot. I guess he shouldn't have been the centerfold,
Yeah.
But I would say leading lady. She has it by the hand, I think. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Holding the baby.
And he was holding the baby. Mhm.
To me, and I apologize ASAP. This is no disrespect or anything like that. I know you're a gangster. But listen, to me, it did feel like if I didn't know any better, if I didn't know any better, it was like her 2 sons. That's how it immediately looked to me.
Yeah.
Now I know a little bit better because I know who A$AP Rocky is.
Right.
Yeah.
But and it's just the photo. You know what I mean? And like you said, it was her thing. The only thing that I said is, if it were me, if I'm A$AP in that situation, it's her thing, so I'm gonna let it be
Right.
her
and
thing.
not be
I'm gonna sit over here on the side, babe, with the baby, you know, while you doing your thing. If this is the way I'm gonna be portrayed,
Right.
because
And
I'm not him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be looked at like that. Maybe, and as we said again, these are just our opinions, because ultimately he
We're
saw
not
it.
there. He saw it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure they had to approve each
They had
photo.
to approve. They had to approve it. You know what I mean? He saw it and he was like, "Go with it." But you know, my issue is it's not even what they do so much. It's almost like I'm nervous about being puppets for
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
You know, imagery is, as we all know, it's huge. You know what I mean? Imagery is there's a lot that goes into that. You know what I mean?
There's
To the
a
psyche.
lot of ways to. I don't know who placed them or positioned them or staged them, but there's a lot of ways to position a man behind a woman without putting him behind her.
Right.
Boom.
He could have been over to her left shoulder or right
Right.
shoulder, just like I got
Boom.
you behind
Right.
you.
Perfect.
Not like you're leading me behind. There's a couple different ways they could have. There's a couple different ways they could have portrayed her being
Absolutely.
a leading lady without putting him behind her.
She looked 10 feet tall in that.
She
in that
did.
photo.
The angle of the camera made him smaller, everything. So, I mean, he could have been a strong presence behind her
Right.
without
Right.
being behind her.
Absolutely.
So there's a way they could have done that.
I agree. Do you guys believe that there is a level of emasculation when it comes to black men in the media? Do you think that that's happening?
Yes.
There's-
And I say that because I feel like, I don't know, what is this? It's like a power struggle between women and men now. Like,
Absolutely.
women want to be too far up, but you still want a man to lead. It doesn't even make sense. Like, there's no balance. So I knew, you know, we did the march and women could vote, get jobs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. But you want to be the head, but you still want a man to lead. How can he?
It's very confusing.
Yeah, where's the balance?
It can be very confusing, which is a main thing that I like to talk about because that's what people don't really talk about. How confusing that is for a man, actually. Problem is, men don't have. First of all, we don't have voices anymore. Black men, you don't really.
That's not true. You got
No.
a voice right now.
Me, but I'm giving an example of that.
Okay.
I did a panel at a church, and it's me and a few women as guests, and there were men, husbands, boyfriends, everything in the audience. You know how many men actually spoke up in there as we were, because it was a Q&A. You know, you can ask your questions. None.
None?
Maybe they didn't feel free in that environment.
No cameras, no nothing. It was, well, why come? And here, you hear what you just said. Well, maybe they don't feel free in their home environment.
Maybe.
Maybe you know what I mean? Because I think that's part of the problem too. Men don't speak up like they should. So now,
avoid an argument.
Yeah.
say it again.
They're avoiding an argument. 'Cause
Absolutely.
we can be combative.
I'm
women.
not. If it's wrong or if it feels wrong, I ain't avoiding it.
So when
I'm
some
sorry.
men,
Combative.
yeah, they just let's not even go there.
If it makes sense, it makes sense. You know what I mean? And sometimes you can break things down until they do. But I feel as though men don't have the voice that they used to and they're being bullied. Let's be honest. Women are now bullying men
Oh,
from
you're too
talking.
sassy. What does that even mean?
You can't. I've had people. You know, you talk too much now. You know what I mean? Like not me, but I'm just saying
Right.
that it happens. It's like okay. I remember a time when men were started taking selfies and stuff like that, and you get shut. Men ain't supposed to do that. Men ain't supposed to do this. Men ain't supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's part of it. You know, men are realizing, like you said, they don't want to argue, or whatever. They don't want to fight, but they're also, I think they're afraid. And a lot of times it's part of this power struggle because women, like you said, they're here. So these dudes might be like, I can't say nothing. I get kicked out.
Right.
I might have nowhere to stay tonight.
Well, and see, now you said something very important. Let's park there for just a few minutes. We're gonna pull over to QT and get us a hot dog right there.
I need a coffee, girl.
Yeah, we're gonna pull over right there. Here's a issue. What you just said, I might get put out. Now, how can you get put out of something that you're the head of,
right?
That you established,
right?
That you brought her into, and there's been a power shift and dynamic with the family system and the setup and the head. Yeah, you're afraid to speak because you might get put out because she brought you in. You have a roof because of her.
Right.
You have stability because of her. That's not the way God set it up. If you believe in that. Now, black people are not a monolith. We don't all believe in Christ. We don't all believe in God. We don't all believe in the Bible. But for those that do,
right.
That's the system. And your voice is muted because your crown is not on your head.
Right.
That's why your voice is muted. So you don't feel like you can speak because you're not in a position to speak. And whose fault is it that you're not in a position to speak? It sure in the hell is not your wife's fault.
Whose fault is it?
It's his own.
Solely?
I'm not going to say solely,
all right, well,
but I'll say a good 85%. Okay?
It's picking yourself up by your own
by your own bootstraps.
Absolutely.
Because there's somebody who came from the same hood, from the same street, from the same neighborhood, and sometimes out of the same house that's doing different than you.
That's a fact.
So yes, it might be that you don't have a voice, but whose fault is that?
I say it's theirs.
She gonna have you somewhere with a trash bag with one of them black bags.
I say it's his. I say it's his because even some of the things you mentioned, me personally, I wouldn't care if that. I know I'm a leader, and there are ebbs and flows with finances.
Yeah.
You know, women have been put in position as well through programs, and women are pushed more so now to go to colleges and get their degrees and things of that nature. So you can find yourself as a man in position where your woman is bringing home the bacon.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So that means she may be, that, like you said, she can be the person to afford this mortgage or whatever else is going on financially, which is how most of the power actually shifted, finances. That's really what it comes back down to. And women are in much better positions now than they used to be. And it just happened. So now...
But you got to bring more to the table is the thing. Because if the only thing you're bringing... Here's the struggle that men are having, finding their place. For so long, and by so long, I mean for thousands of years, or at least the last 300, 400, 500 years, the only thing you had to show up to the table with was provision. And I'm just talking about money. That's it.
Right.
Just a way to take care of me. Now that I can take care of myself, it's required of you to have emotional intelligence. Do you know how to have a damn conversation?
Right.
Do you even speak? Do you come through the door and say anything to me and your kids?
Right.
Or do you just expect us to serve you because you're paying all the bills?
Right.
It's required because women can now take care of themselves. More is required.
Right.
You can't just pay all the bills and that be that. You have to have emotional intelligence. You have to be able to lead spiritually.
Right.
Can you even pray? Do you pray?
How does that development happen? How does that develop? How did the development for women that are now in financial spaces to where they are? It was development, right? And there was some help along the way from a lot of different directions, whether it be men. We got to keep in mind that it's almost like a division. It's like somehow it seems like black men got all the help at some point. No, we were all in the same boat. Like we all were, you know what I mean? We all went through some of the same stuff, but it almost feels like now, like we are part of, we with them. We ain't oppressed nobody.
Right.
You feel me? But it feels like when we walk around, we feel like we are the enemy like that. We're not that. We've never been that. But we got lumped in because once all women got together and joined the same gang, then there was a common enemy at the end of the day. And we got lumped in with that. But where's the development for men for emotional intelligence? Where does it come from?
That starts in the home. So you're going back to a dysfunctional
just
home,
period in general. What I'm saying
right?
is there was development that happened to help women to become providers and all of these things. It didn't just it ain't like it just happened and you know what I mean on its own. There were development, but men. First of all, if you look at men aren't supposed to receive any help, essentially, like from society.
Right.
That's a weak man. I seen somebody post the other day. The only thing a man should ask another man for is a job. I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, that's giving a bad.
That's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Like, so now
dysfunctional.
we can't lean on each other. We can't support each other because that's the idea.
Now you don't have a tribe, nothing. You just out here.
Look, how many how many women conferences do you see where women come together and build each other up, right?
All the day, every day.
All the
Find a
time.
conference.
How
every
many do we
month.
see with men?
Definitely not as much.
You see, I'm getting at the development. Men don't get the same development as women have gotten to get to this space. So we have grown. Men haven't grown like the women have grown. So now there's a disconnect because women now are wanting men with emotional intelligence, like you say, which is fine. Lucky for me, I have it.
Praise the
Right?
Lord.
Lucky
Ain't
for
that
me.
good?
But I know
Ain't it
so
good?
many men. I know most men I know don't have it.
The
They
struggle
don't
is
have
so
it.
real.
You know what I mean? Most men I know don't have it, so it becomes this thing. And now we got to figure out how do we get the balance back?
do
And we need y'all help.
Exactly.
Don't look at us and say, we didn't get the development. So now we quiet because you feel handicapped.
Yeah, it goes both ways. Yes, there are men that show up and they think the only thing they got to show up to the door with is the dollar and the D.
Right,
I got
right.
the dollar and the D.
Right.
You take it or leave it. I'm here. But there's also women. There's also women that show up and all they think they got to have is the booty in the box.
That's a fact.
That's it.
And you got a lot of women that are here that all they got is booty in the box.
That's
They
a
ain't got. I don't know if you could cuss on this show. They ain't got shit else.
Oh, they got
Nothing.
that.
They don't clean up good. They get what she
And
say.
can't
I don't
cook.
cook. I don't clean. Let me tell you. They ain't got shit else. They're just cute and nothing else to good. They can't
Exactly.
cook. They can't. They also don't have emotional intelligence.
Right.
They got 273 triggers. So you can't say nothing for they be like,
How many?
communicate.
and another thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They throwing
Yeah.
your stuff at so
That's true.
it goes. Women are not exempt. They're not exempt. There's plenty of women who show up with nothing but booty and box and expect you to give them the whole world, and they can't have a conversation. You don't want to take them home to meet mama neither.
Right. That's a fact. And because that doesn't last long.
No.
You know what I mean? Like to have something last long, it takes way more than that. You know what I mean? Because even as guys, man, I don't know about every guy, or I don't even know about a lot of guys, but even me, like that becomes
Because you can get it
secondary.
from anywhere.
Right. You know what I mean? As you get older, it's like, that's cool.
When you're in your teens and 20s, that's all you want to do. 90 miles going north.
right.
But as you get older,
It gets old.
Yeah, it's
you need
like
companionship.
real old.
You need
that's the fun
conversation.
part. That's the good part.
You want to cuddle sometime.
Yeah.
Can I get a good meal?
Yep.
And a lot of these, let me not get on the soapbox.
No, come on. Because what?
I mean, we just not do. You said there's some development that was lost with the men. There's been development in this. The development that's been lost with the men has been over centuries coming up through slavery. We ain't even got time to deal with how the men has been
Right.
pressed down and oppressed even more than the woman. But recently, in the recent era, the women's development is falling off. Not in the education. Okay, we getting degrees. Okay,
Yeah.
We
Right.
pursuing. We securing the bag, honey. We
Sure.
doing all.
Yeah.
But in the area of making a house a home, in the area of caregiving, in the area of nurturing, that's falling off, way off.
balance is- yeah.
Where are the daughters that people is becoming grandmothers at 38, and then they gotta, and then that 17, 16, 15-year-old that had a child, ain't nobody teaching nobody how to cook. Now everybody buying everything, throwing in the microwave.
Exactly.
Can't nobody, ain't gonna be no big
Hamburger
mama here in
helper.
about 2 or 3 generations. Everything's gonna be a pizza.
Speaking on that, speaking on that, what do you guys think about Lori Harvey's dating?
Child.
What do you guys think about it? Like seriously, like me personally, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was bothered. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing I thought was, man, if and I was wrong, but man, if men were more out front like this with it,
They are. What you mean?
there would be a problem. And I had to think about that. And I said, you know what? Men are, but not so. It's almost like we try to be secretive about it, more so. You know what I mean?
It's not so obvious.
Right. It's
I don't
not.
think it would be so obvious for her either if she weren't a woman.
That's probably true.
That, or if it wasn't so public, like
Yeah, she wasn't a
every
celebrity.
relationship that you have doesn't have to be out in the
It's like they
open.
make
you can
announcements.
deal with somebody, and be okay with it. We thought her and Michael B. Jordan was,
About to get
oh
married.
my God, you know what I'm
That was
saying?
it.
So for her to, and women move like that though, but they move. The women I see move like that, not in public.
Right.
But they also don't make a commitment to nobody as well. But she's making commitment to these people. But I feel like she's putting a timestamp on it. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna date him for 6 months and then
It
I'm gonna be
seem like
done.
that
Give
too,
me 2
don't
more
it?
months and I'm gonna date. That's how this is moving too
You might
fast.
see him across the room. I'm gonna give him about 90 days.
Yeah, and I feel like she's damaging potential husbands. Because
Really?
Michael B. Jordan right now he's here. He's probably at a point where he's like, never again, not right now. I'm not trying to even date nobody no more right now.
Oh, now
You know what I'm saying? And especially not a black woman. Because if she did that to me and how she moved, I feel like maybe somebody else is going to do that to me.
Then he had the other. I think the other black lady that picked at him when he was in elementary school.
Like, that was just...
No, I'm just throwing
Yeah,
that out. Which has nothing to do with his adult. But at the same time, what you're saying,
Right.
Dealing with that is like, well, I'm gonna try something else now. You know what I mean? Maybe he feels that way or something. But I hope not. You know what I mean?
There's a double standard there, though, because I think how many women have you seen Puff Daddy with? How many women have you seen? Or whoever, just throw a name. How many women have you seen? And I think that we're socially accepting.
Yeah.
Of a man being that way, and we're not so accepting of a woman being that way, but she has autonomy over her life and body and time, just like the next man do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to be with you for now,
Is it the same though?
It's not.
Is it really the same? Because that's been
the same. It's just not socially the same.
I don't think it is.
Why
you mean
not?
like between men and women?
Right. Like for example, like I
What you
think and maybe you guys can help me because see, I can't tell you what you feel naturally, right?
I'm naturally a one man, but like if I'm with you, I'm not focused on nobody and nothing else.
Do you think a lot of men are naturally that way? Or is it something that they have to train? Is it a muscle that you have to develop and actually
I
go
think it's
against
a
your
muscle
nature?
you have to develop.
So it's actually probably more so going against a man's nature, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So that's my point of it being different. Like with men, we especially, and then it's actually socialized because even as you're coming up as a boy and as a girl, there are different
trained.
things. Yeah, there are different things that are being input into your system, into your brain. And for guys, it's like get the
as many as
girls,
you can.
get the girls.
Right.
So that helps. But I think it's also I don't know. I know it is for me. Like, and maybe that's just part of my personality because, like I said earlier, I get tired of things. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? I'm a person, and it could be anything. You know, car, shoe. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I'm just the type of person that I like new. I like, you know what I mean? I like to have conversations with different ideas. So at that point, it's kind of like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like I'm spreading myself around just for that piece, just to talk because I like to hear different perspectives. Yeah. But I think guys are naturally, and if you even, and I hate to make this comparison because it's weird because we're not animals, but if you look at that, it's almost in the same, like lions, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, how they move around. Dogs.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the nature.
Which is
You're
why-
hunter-gatherers, right?
There you go.
And that's in every kind of way.
There you go.
Hunt and gather.
There you go.
Okay, so
But
it does
men
take
and
some
women
training.
are not the same. So when I hear women say, "Oh, he did it," so I can. Why would you want to though? Because at the end of the day, a man can be 60 years old and get a 25-year-old. I feel like
he
once
doing
we
it.
hit that wall,
Right. He could probably still get them pregnant.
exactly. Long as he got money,
Right.
Yeah.
at
Sometimes
60,
broke.
exactly.
Right.
We
You got a
can't
place
get
to
nobody
stay. Maybe
at
she just need a
60
place to
years
stay.
old. That's not. I don't like the whole because a man do it. Oh, well, a female could do it too. No, because I don't want to be at the machine welding. I don't want to do construction. I don't want to do what a man does.
Right.
I want to be as feminine as I possibly can, or as I am.
Right.
So the comparison, like, oh well, P Diddy do it. That's P Diddy, but P Diddy is going to continue to do it, and he's going to continue to get these women because he has the money.
afford it.
Right. You got, let's say, Taraji P.
Right.
She's 50 now. Mm-hmm. She was engaged. She's not. She's talking about she's trying to find her happiness. No man really gonna really take you serious at that age.
It's a sad fact.
I think socially, the social construct is they really will try to retire a woman at a certain. They'll say she's at her peak,
Right.
But she's not gonna want that type of man. She's not gonna want a man her age. She's gonna want younger. but that younger is gonna want her to take care of him. So everything that she was dreaming and wanting, it ain't gonna happen with the leading, protecting, and the providing. So you know
that could be true. That could be true. But I think it's a social construct, right? It's men are like get the women, get the women, get the women, but women are trained get the husband.
That's true.
So you're
early.
Get the husband early. Get the husband. The men are get the women.
Right.
Get the husband. That's a whole different.
Right. And then you take somebody like me that I didn't even hear wife and marriage at all.
Who is?
Right.
So as a guy, so it's like all I was programmed was women. And it's crazy because even when I was young, I felt like I wanted to be married. I just didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? So I had that instinct, like I just felt like it was something I was supposed to do.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Based upon society or whatever. I just felt
And
like
it's not one sided. How many black women came up in 2-parent households? I didn't.
right.
I didn't.
Me
So
neither.
we have to learn how to be wives
okay,
too.
that's
we know
great.
how to be single mothers. We know how to make it. We know how to pay bills.
That's
we know
great.
how to
Yeah.
bring nothing out of nothing. We know how to make ends meet. We know our
you
mothers
had
showed us
those-
that. They didn't show us how to be gentle with you.
Right.
They didn't show us how to respect you. They didn't show us how to honor you. We didn't see it.
Wow.
So we're struggling too.
Yeah.
We're struggling too. We're being raised by single mothers who are a lot of the times angry and bitter and broke.
Wow.
And off of survival.
And they're surviving. They taught us how to survive, not necessarily how to love and nurture you.
And that's how I came up.
You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
survival.
So we're struggling too. I'm learning.
Oh, I know y'all
You know what I'm
struggling.
saying? We're learning too.
I'm glad. I'm happy to hear you say it.
That's the real.
I know there's a. I
there's
already,
a struggle. The
I
struggle
know
is
it.
real.
Oh, it's a
I've-
big
I
struggle.
live
Oh, God.
it. I've seen it, and I have. You know what I mean? Like you can see it on both sides. It's just now it is refreshing to hear women actually say it
Mm-hmm.
We're
out
struggling.
loud.
We're
Like you know what I mean? It's important. Men need to hear that because you know what men think. You know what we think. We think y'all are perfect.
No.
No, we are the shit, but we ain't perfect.
No,
Okay.
y'all
We are
are.
not.
No, y'all are.
Far from
But
it.
and what I mean by that is
But
perfect,
we be acting perfect. Don't
perfect
we?
to the point of
Can't
no
be told.
accountability.
No accountability, yeah.
Perfect to that point. Like nothing you do, it's almost like there's an excuse or you can't be wrong or whatever it is. And it's like, you know what? Imperfection is the most beautiful thing to me because for me, it allows me to understand that there's a God, right?
That's right.
Right. So
That's right.
I know I'm I'm designed in a perfect way. I'm perfectly me, but I'm gonna make mistakes or I'm
Right.
gonna fail forward. You know what I mean? There are gonna be things that happen in my life to build me. And there's gonna be some times where I go left when you know what I mean? I probably should have went right, but that was with purpose.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so if I'm in a banter or if I'm going back and forth, that's all I want. And a lot of men feel like they struggle with that part, which I even brought that up. It's like, it's just being accountable, just saying, you know what, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
You know.
Exactly.
The level of weight that would take off a man's shoulder just to hear that is
and just
massive.
acknowledging that.
Just acknowledge.
But women are not doing that. Like, I struggle
struggling.
daily with other women. And I'm like,
Oh, that's a whole nother
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not see what you just said? Like, you're calling this man sassy or whatever the case may be. Or you don't think that dress is too short. You know, like, girl,
You don't feel that breeze under your cheeks?
come on.
I know you felt that breeze.
Right.
So y'all are talking them down before you leave the house or whatever. And they're like, no, they're going with
it ain't
it.
working for us
Wow,
neither.
wow, okay.
Yeah. Or I've heard women in posts, I've seen posts and I've heard women say, oh, he's soft or this or that. And I'm thinking, now see, you a fool.
Exactly.
Because you ain't going to be satisfied till somebody slap you upside. You know what I'm saying? He got to talk to you crazy. And that's dysfunctional. That's
It
dysfunctional.
is.
So if he's gentle and he's kind and he's meek, which is power under control,
Right.
then he's soft.
He's soft.
Oh, see, because you're dysfunctional and toxic.
Man, y'all good.
Yeah.
I could just let y'all talk. I could just let y'all talk and get all
You
this
don't want
out.
a good man.
No,
what I
you
mean?
don't.
You
And then
want Ray
with
Ray.
me having a son, I just look at, and I got a daughter too. But I definitely don't want her to be that way. I don't want you shaking your ass all over the internet and expect a man
Right.
to be, no, because it ain't gonna happen. And I don't want nobody daughter coming at my son on some cash at me or you can't date me. Or no, cash app yourself. Or ask your daddy, because he ain't your daddy.
That part.
You know,
How was
so-
you getting it before you met my son?
Exactly.
That's the way you need to
No,
keep getting it.
absolutely
And that's
not.
big what you just said right there about the mothers and the sons and the fathers and the daughters. Like if you look at it from that space, because I think that's getting left behind, especially with mothers and the sons. It's like how you behaving, and men too, fathers,
Yeah.
you're behaving a certain way. But would you want your son
to
to have to deal with this?
Yeah.
Your son.
Right.
This is the young man you birthed, the one that you really love.
Oh, you said, you know what? I need to confess something. Hopefully I don't cry because so my son, Israel, I have one son and one daughter, Israel and Olivia. And my son one morning was struggling to do something. I can't remember at this time what he was struggling to do. And I was my mother, the way she raised us so harsh.
Right.
She stayed whooping. She raised like little robots. Like we couldn't be weak. We couldn't cry. We couldn't nothing, but that's survival mode. Single mother, 5 kids surviving. That's what you get, just by the book, everything, hardly any nurturing, all discipline, hardly any nurturing.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. And so I try to be different. I'm trying to be different with my children so they could be different with their children. Not a better mother, just a different mother, because my mother did good with me, but I'm trying to be a different mother, right? So, but this day I was acting like my mama. So he was struggling with something, and I was like, "Boy, if you don't get your ass, And the Holy Spirit convicted me. And I was like, but he was in the Holy Spirit. If you believe in God, I believe in God. Some folks don't believe it. I did write a book called The Church Can Go to Hell, and it can directly. But I believe, I'm talking about the church. Yeah. I believe in God. And the Holy Spirit convicted me like you were too harsh with him. He wasn't being intentionally slow.
Right.
He was, he was, how old was he at the time? I think he was 7 at the time. And basically, I didn't feel like I could be a child when I was. We didn't have room to be kids. And the Holy Spirit convicted me and was like, he is a child. Right. Let him be. You didn't let him be a child in that moment. I called the school. At first I ignored it, and then the Holy Spirit was like, you heard me. You heard what I said to you. I called the school. I called his teacher, and I said, I need to speak to my son, Israel, when you get a chance. She said, we're in the middle of something. I said, okay, whenever you get a break, please put him on the phone. I need to apologize to my son. Yeah. She was like, I said, it's very important. I need to apologize. It was in the morning. And I said, I don't want him to carry the weight of my words through the rest of his day.
Right.
And so when they got a break, she didn't call me. She had forgot. And I called her back because it was heavy on my heart. And I called Israel and I said, Israel, I'm sorry for how I spoke to you this morning.
Right.
I was agitated and you didn't deserve it. And I apologize and I love you and I hope you have a great day. Right. He's like, okay, Mom, da-da-da-da-da. Now imagine, I didn't want him to go through the rest of his day with my words on him.
Right.
How many men have gone through their whole life
with those words?
With those words on day after day. I love my son. I love my son. That's my only son. I didn't want him to go through the day with that.
Right.
How many men are going through their whole life with not just from their mother, because we talk about absent fathers, but are we talking about toxic mothers?
Right.
Because sometimes they're doing more damage than the father who's not present. Yeah. I didn't want him to go through the day with my words on him.
Right.
There's men going through their life with the words of their mother on them, the words of their father, the words of the, quote, white man or whatever. And they're carrying all of that.
Right.
And then on top of that,
oh my God,
we get out here and we set our standards so high, we make ourselves unattainable. Yeah. And then we complain if they go get a white woman.
Exactly.
But we just can't be happy about nothing.
Can you blame him? Exactly. Yeah, you sound just like me. Because that's how my mom raised us, to be hard, and she had 3 girls. So you got to work. Nobody going to take care of you. Get it for yourself. Don't ever depend on nobody.
And that's the best that they could do. And we know
that's all she knew to get it.
Just
go get it.
But I commend you guys for understanding that and flipping the switch. Yeah. That's big. You know what I mean? I've had a moment like that with my son, knowing that he's just a kid.
He's just a child.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just a kid. And sometimes we expect our children to be thinking like us.
Yeah.
You know, like you're supposed to know this because I know this.
Yeah, because I know, so you should know.
Like, no, and that's, you have to allow it. I actually was talking to my son and I said, why don't you, and this is just about the technology. And I was like, man, we was talking about the PlayStation. I was like, man, y'all don't go outside. Y'all don't do nothing. He said, I said something about your friends. And he's like, well, Dad, all my friends are in there.
They own the game.
They where I'm at.
You know what I mean? That's how we see each other or talk to each other now. But before, remember when we were kids, I have to go outside to catch up with
you. Yeah, outside.
And I'm taking a chance.
Everybody
you might not be at home or wherever. I'm taking chances to just go see. And he explained it to me because I was frustrated. I can't even remember what it was, but I was frustrated about something. And he said that, and I said, you know what? That's right. And hell, I bought this game. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, quick question. How was dating before you got married? before you got married, how was dating? I remember a quote you put. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you were on. You said something about it was. You probably don't remember this.
I probably don't.
What's the guy? He's a rapper from New Orleans.
Juvenile?
No, he's the guy. He wears a feather in his.
Gates.
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates.
That thing there.
You remember what you said?
I don't know what I said.
Because I posted
2 freaks and a half. I don't know what I said. What I say about Kevin?
I posted a picture where he was squatting in some squat position. It was really weird.
Child, ain't no telling what I said.
So I said, "Is this your king?" You was like, "Well, he ain't my king, but."
But he can get it. I know.
That's pretty much exactly what you said. But how was dating before you got married? How was the date? Like, was it really bad? Was it okay? Was it good? Like, how was it?
It was so. But being that I have been married twice before, and I'm 42, I don't have the patience. I just don't have the patience. The gentleman that I was engaged to before, I get engaged every year.
Girl, you got to write a book on that, how to get the ring.
Yeah, you just get
every year. I've been engaged every year for the last 3 years, honey. But the gentleman I was engaged to before, he was a gold, and his heart was gold. He was funny, he was sweet, but he was dysfunctional. And I wanted to wait for him, but I couldn't. I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. His little boy needs healing. And I couldn't love the man and heal the boy at the same time. I just couldn't. I didn't have the time.
Couldn't be responsible for that.
I couldn't. I couldn't. I mean, I think there's a lot of and I wanted to, but
Right.
There's what's his name? There's an artist named Samo. I don't know if you've heard of him. He had a song, I wanted to save you, but I'm not God. I wanted to heal you, but I'm not God. And I wanted to because I loved him, and I believed I believed more for him than he believed for himself. And for that reason, we couldn't, because he couldn't believe for him like I believed for him. And so he wasn't pushing for him like I was pushing for him.
I see online, though. So, and beyond that, I see online where your marriage is not so traditional, right?
Very untraditional.
Yeah, because I couldn't make. You sent me an invite.
Yeah.
So you had an online.
Completely online.
Wedding. How was that?
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. My husband is in Gambia. We have 2 more weddings to go. This thing is totally righteous of God's doing, because he could have got all these cakes and cookies if he wasn't. I'm just being honest.
So being honest. You're doing this the right way.
I'm doing it right because God said it had to be right.
It had to be.
Can we keep it real? So not because God said it had to be right. So, and because he said, I will tell you, we're talking about coming to visit, and at this time we're dating for a while, and he said, "Are you coming to visit, or are we getting married?" And I was like, "What? What's it? Is that your way of proposing?"
Instantly.
He was serious. But, I believe men know what they want.
They do.
Women have to figure it out. But I believe when a man approaches a woman, he usually knows whether or not he just want to smash or he want to be at the altar somewhere.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is you guys haven't?
No.
Oh.
No,
so y'all haven't met in person yet?
Not in person. No, we haven't done nothing in person. He said, "Do what we dated."
That's different.
It's different. When I step off the plane, that'll be the first time I see my husband in person.
It's like 90 Day Fiance.
Well, not necessarily 90 days. It'll be about a year. But, it's different. And I believe it's divine. And I will tell you why. And my husband is Muslim. And this is the first righteous marriage I've been in.
Right.
And my husband is Muslim. And he told me, he's like, there's another woman he was dating at somebody else too before me. Not at the same time, but before me, and broke it off. He said, she wanted to come be with me. He said, I don't do that. He said, I'm very well respected. There's a lot of people looking up to me. I serve my community. I cannot even be seen with a woman I'm not married to.
Oof.
Oh,
so
wow.
we can't even do that.
That's very, very non-traditional.
He said, we can't do that. He said, there's too many people watching me.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
What is he, a king or a prince or something? What you got going on over there in Gambia?
Y'all gonna find out.
Okay.
Y'all gonna find
Let
out.
me find out. You got Prince Hakeem and
Yeah, look, I'm about to be Michelle Obama.
Coming to America.
Coming for the Gambia. Watch what I say. But he was like, I can't. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, let me get back to you on that. So anyway, we ended up getting married. I found out Utah is the only state, and probably because they're a Mormon, highly Mormon, so they got missionaries all over the place. The only state that I know of anyways that can do a completely virtual wedding as long as someone officiating is in the state of Utah. So we're legally married in the United States. We have a wedding in the consulate of the Gambia on the 28th, and then we have a tribal wedding
Let me
on
find out.
April
I'm speaking
29th.
to royalty over here.
Jesus Christ. So we'll be married 3 times before we touch each other.
Oh my.
Okay.
Before we even touch each other.
Congratulations on that. I don't think I could do it. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could do, but that's
But he is a beautiful man. His family is wonderful. He's gentle and he's kind.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
That goes a long way.
Absolutely. So, do you think that dating before, or you just like that, or does some of your dating experiences kind of lend to you ending up there or being open for that?
I think my dating experiences lended to me being open to that.
Okay.
I in times past, I don't think I could ever imagine marrying someone outside of the Christian faith.
Right. Okay.
But having married 2 Christians,
Yeah.
I said, let's give it a try.
All right.
And then in times past, I think we limit ourselves to our city, our town, our state. The world is big. Why should you be limited to your city, your state, your town, or even your country, or even your race for that matter?
Right.
Find love where it can be found. That's it.
About you? How's your dating experiences? Are you currently dating?
I'm currently dating right now. I guess I'm more so like I go with the flow. Because you know how people were saying, oh, it's piss in a dating pool. I mean,
Yeah. That's what I hear.
if I didn't like you, I didn't talk to you. Or if I didn't see nothing there, then I have 2 kids. I don't have time to play with nobody.
Yeah, she mentioned it earlier.
Yeah,
Like
so
y'all
I
be
have
focused differently.
met my guy through social media.
Really? Okay.
He lives like 4 hours away.
That's a good distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I
And
had really good experiences
it.
with that.
Right. I like the distance. Because
Why
sometimes
does that
I
sound a little
like...
extra? That just sounded a little extra.
What you mean?
I mean, because I like my time sometimes. Sometimes I don't like to be bothered, He don't like to be smothered neither. But he comes up here, I go down there. I went down there for Christmas, spent 3 days with his family or whatever. Yeah, so I like my time to myself. I don't like people just all in my space all the time.
It keeps it fresh, right? That
Very
keeps it
much
fresh.
So when we do get together, it's fun every single time.
Every single time. That's what
Every single time.
Yeah, that's what I appreciated most about when I was in a, I wouldn't even say that's not super. Yours is a long distance relationship.
It's long.
Yours is like a short, long distance relationship.
Keeping me. Girl. Because the struggle is real.
But yeah, I found that to be great, to be able to see somebody, and every time you see him is almost like the first time.
It's almost like the
you
first
have a really
time,
good time. You know what I mean, with him. But so how long you been doing that?
A year.
Year. Okay, and it's working out. But there, I do hear that there is pee in the dating pool or piss in a dating pool.
Probably up here. I don't know. 'Cause, it's a competition
with
up
selection
here.
too.
Yeah,
I think we have to think broader and bigger. And as far as women goes, I think we talk about standards so much and this and that other thing, and lowering your standards. I don't think anybody needs to lower their standards. I think they need to broaden their standards.
And that too. And they need to be realistic.
Realistic. I think about my pastor, who I've never met, but he's my pastor, is Dr. Darius Daniels. And he was talking about how him and Shamika, his wife, got together. And he was talking to, he was giving advice to, I guess they were doing a round table or some kind of discussion. And there was like, the question was, did you get with a man who makes less money than you, da-da-da? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to just tell you how my situation. He said, when your mother got with me, I was broke. I was broke. I was in college. I was playing basketball, and I couldn't do a job and play basketball and be in college at the same time. I said, and she, not only did she financed the ring in her name, but now she don't want for anything. Of course, they're doing extremely well. Right. I'm sure they're multimillionaires. She don't want to work. She ain't got to, and she don't, that I know of. But he said, I don't bless my wife with bags no more. We pass the bags. When I want to give my wife a gift, I give her a business.
I know that's right.
Now, so
big time.
But the women now would be looking at Dr. Darius
Like he
Dang, who
broke,
was
like
just
he was
Darius back then. He's graduated from Princeton. Back then, he was just Darius.
Right.
So the women now would be looking at Darius and saying, he ain't nothing in it, you know. But you can't see Darius 20 years from now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And these women now have to have the ability to see beyond the man.
Yeah.
To the king.
You got to be able to project. Like, and
You
there's
got to be able to see beyond the man to the king. You know, there's a king in there.
Right.
And you got to be able to see that. Yes, there might be pee in the dating pool, but who's drinking the pee?
Who's drinking it?
You the one drinking the pee.
Or who
You get to
pissing in it?
choose.
Tell them.
And you get to choose what pool you jumping off in,
Exactly.
too.
Tell them. They need to hear that. All right, one final question. One final question for both of you. Who gets their plate first in the family? Or do you even fix plates? I think you do for sure.
Yeah, the men. Like, all the men in my family still get their plates
Because
first.
we're going to end a debate, a 100-year debate now, I guess. I don't know. But who gets their plate first? It was a weird question for me because I don't personally.
You don't look at it like
I don't
that.
care. You know what I mean? Like, if you take the kids their plate first, well, I'm eating. Everybody eating.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
I never really looked at it as an issue until
Right.
I seen it on social media. And I was
Yeah.
like, traditionally, you know,
Yeah.
everybody in my family is married. So my aunts, them, they always fix the men, then the kids, then we fix our own food. So I was like, why is this a problem? Like, I'm
Yeah.
confused.
Right.
I don't know.
I would say that there's not a right or wrong way concerning this thing. It's going to be the culture of the house, right?
Right.
It's going to be based on the culture of the house. You won't find a scripture that says, thou shalt make thy man's plate first.
Exactly.
And thou shalt give him the largest piece of chicken. You're not going to find that
Right.
in the scripture. It's according to the culture of the house. So there's no wrong or right way for
Right.
that. As for me and my house, I will serve my husband first. That's just what it is. And someday, that's going to happen 9 times out of 10. Now, if we're eating in different places and the kids are there and I make their plate, then I make our plates and take it out. You know, there's
Right.
situations. But generally speaking, I believe that's a point of honor.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the culture of my house. That doesn't make you more than or less
Right.
than a woman or
Right.
not
Right.
honoring. Or it's based on the culture of the house.
Right. Absolutely. You know what is in the Bible?
What's
Thou
in that,
shalt not
preacher?
steal.
Yeah.
I'm going back to that again.
Would you let go and let God?
Thou shalt not steal.
The
Look,
word
this-
man cave
listen.
existed before your show came
See,
along.
it ain't about that. It ain't about that. Like, I get that part. But yeah, thou shalt not steal. Again, I appreciate y'all. I just want to quote your book. The church can go to hell.
What? Oh, they put me in there. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to quote this. Hey, man, y'all make sure y'all go pick this up. You say you can get it at Amazon.
Amazon,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Pick this
Our
book up,
publisher has
man.
a good relationship with
It's going to be
Amazon,
a great read. It's very. I know it's different, as you guys can see her perspectives.
Shout out to Choir Publishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're ever in the upstate South Carolina area or anywhere near, and you need some food, some good home cooking. I haven't had it yet. Unfortunately, I was supposed to have some today.
You gonna get
But
it. You gonna get
it didn't happen.
He don't let go easy. Do it.
But if you're ever in the upstate and you want some really good soul food, a familiar taste, look it up. You'll find it. You know what I mean? Just great food. I've seen all the pictures. And stomach growls. You know what I mean? When I see the pictures. But again, thou shalt not steal. The church can go to hell.
Help, Holy Ghost.
Man Cave with Southside Dre. You can find us at Man Cave Pod everywhere or Man Cave with Southside Dre everywhere. We're on all platforms. I appreciate you guys. This conversation was very enlightening. I think the audience is gonna appreciate it, and that's what's most important. Again, Man Cave with Southside Dre. We appreciate y'all. Check us out. YouTube, everywhere. That's it. Peace.